sometimes if you take up a lot of oxygen, it can just seem like you're getting your way, which is not good for either party, you know? So it's a lot of like, if we do have a blow up, I'm definitely someone who will take up the most oxygen in the room, and it's like, don't get to shut up.
Welcome back, or it may be two separate bathrooms. I'm Daddo.
I'm Cam Daddo, and I love the way you did that. That's really cool.
I've been working on my opening a little bit more.
Have you?
Not really.
So when do you do that?
I just thought of it. I just by the fly. I just did that.
On the fly?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, you're killing flies.
I just wrote on the back of a fly and went, look, this will work for today.
Fly away, fly. We're going to rock and roll. We've got a great couple today.
I know. And one is very recognizable. She's a writer, actor, and a very powerful activist. She was in Who Magazine, Sexiest 2020. She's got multiple credits, including Black Comedy, Get Cracking, and Q&A.
She's an award winner. 2012, she won the Dreaming Award. She was the first recipient of the Dreaming Award by the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island Arts Board of the Australia Council, and the Nick Enright Prize for Playwriting in 2018 for Black is the New White.
And the other, perhaps not so recognisable partner, he works behind the camera. He's a writer and an award-winning editor for film and TV, including, shall we say her name?
Yeah.
Nakkiah's new show, Preppers.
Welcome to the bathroom, Nakkiah Lui and her husband, Gabe Dowrick. Welcome, guys, to the bathroom. It's so great to have you here. Let's start from the beginning. How did you guys meet?
Well, we met on Black Comedy season 1, where Gabe was editing and I was acting and writing. But Gabe's mum sent me kept tweeting me on Twitter, and Gabe came in one day and said,
I mentioned to my mum one day, I'd met you and so on, and I thought you were very nice, and she was like, oh, okay, and then she got onto Twitter and started,
and then Gabe was like, Mum, stop tweeting my colleagues. Yeah. And then we started DMing, so her plan worked.
Yeah. I mentioned Nakkiah, and my mum thought that was some sort of prompt to, somehow, I don't know, play weird, uncomfortable matchmaker on Twitter.
Okay, this is the craziest meeting story. We've interviewed a few couples, but never have we had the mum tweeting to draw the two couples together. I love it. Oh, yeah, I think that's amazing. If I could tweet a boyfriend into my daughter's life, I would 100% do it.
Would you?
Absolutely. She's 25. She needs a nice fellow.
Oh, shit, and that is true. Gabe, did your mum usually infiltrate relationships like that in the past?
No. This was definitely the first, and I guess fortuitously so.
And the last.
And the last. That's right.
Yes.
Right. That's right.
Thank heavens for that.
Well, they do say mothers know.
Yeah. So. Oh, well, your mum's clearly got good choice. Now, Gabe, Nakkiah wrote about you. This is a quote from her. It's so beautiful. I fall more in love with the old white man you're becoming. Who knew my soulmate would be a movie-obsessed man who now leans over and inspects things with his hands politely held behind his back.
Yeah.
Sure.
See, I have a question about that because I do the same thing, but that's to stop me fiddling. Is that you too?
Well, the hands behind your back thing?
They have a name for it in Italy.
So, like those old Italian guys who look at construction sites or something.
And then they bend over with their hands.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely something I've started doing. I definitely wasn't doing it when I was like 17 years old or whatever. It's like definitely something as I've got older I've started, placing my hand, holding your hands behind your back like that and just peering out.
Yep.
What's going on over here?
He did this thing the other day where he actually had his hand behind his back and then opened up took one hand out and then opened up the window blinds and then peeked out the window with his hand behind his back. It was just this is us in 40 years.
What are those neighbourhood kids doing? Yeah, no, it's nothing like that.
Here, get off my lawn.
Yeah. I'm certainly not that guy, but it's just a comfortable way.
Tell us about, you've been married since 2019, yeah?
Yes.
Can you walk us through the proposal?
It was a pretty funny proposal.
I mean, the way you describe... Yeah, okay. You tell the story, because you'll make me sound less cool than I thought I was.
Kind of. We were going to dinner at Benelong. And so, you get dressed up kind of fancy. And we were at the front of the Opera House. And then Gabe said, let's take a selfie. And Gabe hates selfies. So I was kind of that's weird. And then I guess, that fiddling thing, he started just kind of talking. And he's like, because, the city is ours. And it was just well, it was mine until your people came and stole it.
That's right.
And he says, he goes, well, about that. And then bends down on one knee and takes out a ring. And then I was like, oh, God, I just completely ruined his whole thing. And then
You had to make it political.
Yeah, that's right.
My privilege, your privilege.
No, I didn't.
I feel like you did. And then I started crying. And then, people started taking photos. And then it was like, get up, Gabe, get up. This is embarrassing.
But you know what's interesting? I don't know if other people do this, but while Nakkiah was getting ready upstairs that evening, I was downstairs practicing kneeling and stuff.
Yeah,
because
right.
in my head I was I've got to have a ring in my pocket, and with which hand will I take that out with, and thinking about my left hand got to go on one knee. So I was down there am I going to do it this way? I'm going to do it that way. But I mean, I don't know. Do other people?
Yeah.
Is that a common thing?
I wonder. I'm sure it does make sense to me based on the fact that if you're getting down, you might, you don't want to get down on the left knee and hold out your left hand because you might fall over, or and you've got, that's when the brain takes over, that left brain that's so analytical, and you start, but rather than just go for it with the right brain. It's why you do that. But what I was thinking was doing the superhero pose. When they land on the ground. In the Marvel movies, the superheroes appear and and they land like that. That would have been cool.
I just would have
a
loved
shockwave and everything.
Yeah. I just would have loved to have been a fly on the wall and watching you practice. I think that would have been the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Gabe, what was it about Nakkiah that had you proposing a life together?
I mean, I guess when we first met, actually, she came into the edit suite of Black Comedy, and she was very, very quiet and very sweet. I guess whenever sketches that you were in would come up, you wouldn't watch, and you look down at your phone and stuff. But
because it's woeful.
But that was
yourself.
but she, but she's actually I mean, if any of you guys know Nakkiah, she's actually very forthright, outgoing, passionate, intelligent, beautiful. So I guess it was all of. I guess it was all of that,
Yeah.
I had it going on.
Yeah. And we've got a great rapport and stuff. It's really easy to talk to one another, and I think we just sort of hit it off in that way, right?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
And how about for you, Nakkiah? What was it about Gabe?
Gabe, I remember on our first, even the way Gabe asked me out was really funny. We've been talking about
this is just embarrassing stories about how much
urban legends. I won't go too much
It's all right, mate. It's just us. We're alone in our bathroom. It's just us.
Right.
The whole Gerbil thing. I don't know. We're tweeting. I don't know, something about that. And he slides into my DMs and he's like, "Hey, let's go talk about." Why about we talk about Richard Gere of Gerbils in person? Which is so left of field and charming. And Gabe is just really, just so incredibly intelligent and curious and just out there and entertaining and funny and very cute and just really, very forthright. And
all of those things are just a product of nervousness when we were first dating. Like, oh God, I got to fill the air with something. I got to talk about something. Oh,
And he's like, doesn't what you get, like what you see is what you get with Gabe. Like, there's no judgment, but incredibly like not afraid to engage with anyone about anything. And it's just very, very kind person as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and funny.
Thank you.
Nakkiah, I saw there was a beautiful, gorgeous Harper's Bazaar cover of you.
Oh, thank you.
And I read a comment that you wrote when you were a little girl. You're holding your nana's hand, her telling you to reach for the stars and never be ashamed of who you were, that you deserve to be heard. How was it growing up for you?
I had a really, in a way, like I had such a lovely childhood in that, I come from a very close-knit family. Then I grew up in Western Sydney in the St. Mary's Mount Druitt area. I'm very close to my grandmother. Like, she was my best friend. She would have loved you. I tell Gabe about her every day. I'm really sad that, they never got to meet, but I kind of feel like she sent you because you're very similar. So I had my nan I was surrounded by love. But, I did, coming from, I guess, maybe a lower socioeconomic background and, being a First Nations person, there was definitely like kind of really, some really, especially like unpacking it as an adult, some kind of really jarring realities of racism, I remember the first time I heard an Aboriginal joke, and I remember when I was in kindergarten, my best friend at the time came and told me that she wasn't allowed to hang out with me anymore because Aboriginal kids had nits, that type. And I remember like so vividly those conversations taking place. And I really appreciate, I think now, and I've been talking to my parents a bit about this, what it was like to have those conversations with your child and have them understand, but also not be completely downtrodden or daunted by. So, it was, I feel incredibly lucky for the background I had. I had roof over my head, food in my belly, and parents who really, really drilled in self-worth and that you can do anything, and not a lot of people, no matter who they are, come from that. So, so in a way, like very, very, well, my childhood memories are pretty magical and funny. Aside from the bad stuff, like I just threw this really heavy stuff at you, and I was like, but at the same time, it was really fun. But it was.
And is that where? How did you know you were a storyteller? What when did you know that you wanted to tell stories? I guess.
I think
Your parents showed me some old VHS tapes of Nakkiah doing like the stand up. She's like 12 years old and doing like some sort of stand up at the. Where was that at?
St. Mary's Leagues Club.
St. Mary's Leagues Club. Or, remember when you used to be able to go to Wonderland or whatever and they had the green screens and you could like fake host the news and stuff?
Yeah.
They showed me all these videos of Nakkiah just absolutely hogging the camera at that, like pushing her sister out of the way, going again. I think she was born for it. Very
right. She couldn't put me in front of a camera without me doing anything. Yeah, I think like always. And then, I didn't know anyone in the entertainment industry. My parents did it, they're community workers. So when I was growing up, they were like, well, you're really dramatic and you're really argumentative and you can tell a good yarn. So why don't you go be a lawyer? So I went to law school and then realized like too far in, oh God, I can't be a lawyer. I just like the wigs that barristers wear. Yeah. And then, he kind of fell into theatre and found my career path there, weirdly enough. It was really serendipitous. But yeah, I've always told stories. I think I wrote a story once and my mum sat me down when I was like a child and accused me, like gave me a lesson about plagiarism because she thought I'd copied it from somewhere. Oh. And she still feels really bad about that to this day.
Yeah. Do you remember what the story was? Do you still have that in your mind?
Yeah, I think it was about like a sword that carried memories. It was quite fantastical, pretty bad. But I had a really popular when I was 13. I was really popular. I had this really popular fan fiction on the internet about ice skaters. So, yeah.
Wow.
Is it still there? Go to the Wayback Machine and find a weird.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Love
Yeah, the
and
way
Ice
back machine.
about Evgeny Plushenko. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How about you,
Anyways.
Gabe? Were you always into the editing and the other side of the camera?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, when I was a kid at high school, I loved making short films and things with my friends, and I tried to go to uni for like a year. You know, my parents did that. Oh, you need to go get a solid degree in something or other or whatever. So I did like economics for a year, and I was just like, what am I doing here? It's just terrible. It's not what I'm interested in whatsoever. So then, you know, I just went to, I basically studied some film and stuff, but I'd always loved films and filmmaking. You know, like as a kid, I sort of had those, you know, if I was interested in something, I was just mega interested in it to the sort of detriment of everything else. And I guess as a kid, that was films and stuff. So it was something I always wanted to do. And I just sort of found my way to, you know, mostly I work as an editor just because I'm really interested in that part of filmmaking. But yeah, I mean, I love.
You've written movies.
Oh, yeah,
You've
sure.
written movies with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, I wrote a movie with Dolph Lundgren once.
Skin
That was,
Trade.
You did not.
Yeah.
but
Dolph
yeah,
Lundgren as in
Yeah, I
Rocky?
did, yeah.
Rocky, Dolph
As in
Lundgren.
Rocky, yeah.
Oh, and when Gabe was in high school, he made all of these short films, and he was kind of like the Spielberg of his high school. And he even had, I've seen a bunch of them with all his friends, and everybody was like competing to be in his films, and you know, you kind of wielded your power.
Sure.
You were the star
And
maker.
then-
Mini studio system. yeah.
Gabe,
you're
star
in-
maker.
Yeah. Well, between Nakkiah's old VHS and your old stuff, you could have a whole movie night. You know, the childhood of the,
Oh,
the two of you.
Totally.
Bore the shit out of people.
We've just obviously been through, you know, lockdown and all that business. And I was going to ask you, because you're both in the business, and Nakkiah, I thought you'd be going away on location and doing stuff. How do you guys stay connected? It seems a bit redundant because we've all been connected. We've all been locked up together.
Yeah. Prior to lockdown, the pandemic, we both travelled a bit at times for work, which got a little bit. I found it a little bit hard, to be honest. Like maybe I'm a little bit needy like that. I like being around you, you know, especially like if you're shooting or something. It can be like sometimes a really lonely place to be on set, like whether or you have like a show coming out. It can be really, there's, you know, you can kind of feel a little bit untethered in those, you know, rehearsal rooms. So I definitely miss Gabe. I think the first part of our relationship, I was in Melbourne a lot, and then after we got married, I did a podcast called Debutante for Audible, where I got to kind of travel around the world looking at like debutante balls. And I think I left like a week after we got married to go do that. Yeah, pretty quickly.
Wow.
But and you do.
I mean, I think because we're both work in the industry, you know, at least you have a sort of better understanding of the realities that sometimes, you know, you might have to go away. I think it would be much more difficult if, you know, only one of us had that as a, you know, as a profession where that was a thing. But because, you know, I might have to go to, you know, I've been to Melbourne for a couple of months to, say, cut a TV show, or like you said, you've been overseas. I think, yeah, because we're both within the industry, it's much easier to kind of understand that sort of thing might be the case. But then, you know, like we're always in contact and stuff.
It's really funny though, like when like you're filming, you know, when you're doing those like crazy hours that are like 4 till, you know, that night, and you feel like you barely see each other, that'll be like, but then when we're together, like during the pandemic, I think we've like, he's been in the other room, like we've been in different rooms, and we'll be messaging and tweet DMing and like sending, like it's like all at the same time. So we kind of go through extremes.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic might make it a little bit harder to be separate though, like post-pandemic. Yeah.
Do you have a dog or a cat?
Having.
Because you don't have kids yet.
No, we had a dog. Unfortunately, passed away about two
About two years ago.
Yeah, which is very sad. Boy, loved that dog.
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce. But but yeah, like, and I think actually, because he was my dog like before we met, and boy did he hate everybody, because he was like he was a Jack Russell Chihuahua, which made him like, you know, he was just
Say no
very
more.
adorable, but Yeah, but kind of hyper.
Yeah, we got one of
like
those.
hyper
Yep.
anxious, very,
Yeah.
you know,
He was on Doggy Valium.
Yeah,
like,
same as our dog.
It's like, he's like a lawsuit waiting to happen. He's so cute. So you get people at the park coming up to him like, oh, look at this adorable dog. And be like, keep your child away from my dog.
Yeah.
He's like crazy. But he really liked, like in the end, he loved three people, me, Nakkiah, and Nakiah's mum, you know.
Yeah.
And I suppose, apart from my mum, that was the other thing that made me go, maybe she's, maybe she's all right because Bruce really
Bruce
liked
knew.
her.
See, I love that you had a dog. I was like, he's got to be a good guy.
Yeah.
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 You know, I know you've only been married not a whole lot of time, but does conflict come up for you guys, and how do you resolve it? Is there one thing that is constant for you that you argue the most about?
Probably like me being hungry. I'm hangry. That's probably where most of our conflict comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of apologizing me after being like,
Eat
I'm
a
sorry, I
sandwich.
was just hangry.
I mean, you know, like all comes to court again.
Yeah.
You know, fights here and there, differences of opinions about stuff or whatever. But I mean, we've got different fighting styles. I mean, we've got different fighting styles. Choose your fighter. Nakkiah's, you know, she's a forthright. She'll tell you what her problem is, and I'm that classic kind of like.
Stew until
Yeah,
the
that's
anger
right.
just decays.
Quiet,
everything around
you know, making a mental note of this thing forever and ever.
So we've usually, you know, if something does, we don't really argue that much.
I mean, I think the best thing you can
I think
usually do
it's-
is just walk away from it for, you know.
But then talk about
Yeah.
it. I'm a good talker. It's also, sometimes if you take up a lot of oxygen, it can just seem like you're getting your way, which is not good for either party, you know? So it's a lot of like, if we do have a blow up, I'm definitely someone who will take up the most oxygen in the room, and it's like, don't get to shut up.
I didn't say
Say
nothing. I
something.
didn't say anything.
You know, it's a thing. It's like, you know, you kind of, like your feelings matter. Your thoughts
Yeah,
matter. Like we
yeah.
need
Yeah.
to talk about, you know, kind of the root of this and
Yeah.
sort it out, you know, especially.
But we did well in like the period of lockdowns in the pandemic in that, you know, we live in an apartment. It's a nice apartment, but you are always right there and working together as well and living together. You know, it could have gone badly.
It went pretty well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, just learn a lot of stuff that people do when they're usually by themselves, you know. It's like, oh, I didn't know you were like that. In a good way.
Yes. You eat a lot of Nutrigrain, don't you?
That's you.
He's in the shower a lot, Gabe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
I get a lot of ideas in the shower, though. Do you, Gabe? Do you get a lot of ideas in the shower?
Oh,
You know, some
totally.
Great things come to you in the shower?
Yeah. Although I did, I started like eating bowls of noodles in the shower.
Don't tell people.
I don't care. It's not that
okay.
weird. You know, I'd like sit in the shower and eat some
All
noodles.
that going
or
into your
like-
noodles. It's
or
weird.
like, yeah,
It's
but like I
weird.
don't let the water hit the noodle. Like I'm careful about how I hold my noodles. While
I don't
in the
know, Gabe.
shower. I find
Yeah,
it
no,
really
Gabe,
relaxing
I'm sorry, that is weird. I'm going to call it. I'm going to
Totally
call
weird,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
fine.
a first.
I mean, I used to love drinking in the shower, but I gave that up.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
I'd like make
okay.
like a Bloody Mary and drink it in the shower with like a big celery in it and everything. But Nakkiah cured me of that.
We're
Hey,
our
look,
son.
it's the weirdest thing, you know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. If that's as weird as it gets, you're doing
You're
pretty
fine.
well. What do you both
Wow.
feel? What do you both feel is the most important thing to nurture in a relationship?
I don't know.
Like, I mean,
I feel like people probably take some sort of stock answer like communication or something, but it's probably something like, for me, like being able to just like talk to someone about how you're feeling or something, because you don't want, you know, if someone's upset or something and you feel like you can't tell someone why, maybe that, but it feels like that's a really stock answer. Like that's the, you know.
yeah, I feel like, no, I think it's a stock answer because I feel like, you know, I feel like you do have to, you know, remember that like people don't automatically read your mind either. I mean, we're still kind of newlyweds and we've been together for like 7 years now, 8, so we're not even at like the decade mark. But you know, you don't want to take it for granted that someone that they know that you love them. I think, you know, being kind of really, for me, it's like I want to let you know that I love you and you feel special.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just making sure that that romance stays
Yeah.
alive. Oh my God, who am I?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good. Or like again, like, you know, when you're first going out with someone, you feel like you're always seeing the best version. You know, you go out on a
Yeah.
date and they're dressed up and things like that, and you know,
Yeah.
you're going out to dinner. And, you know, then you get married and you spend a lot of time watching Succession in your pajamas or whatever. And
Drinking in the
you
shower.
know, or drinking in the shower.
Really? Or
You
noodles.
know, and so, like, yeah, that's right.
I don't do those. But
So you know, we try to go out to, you know, make sure we're still going out. We love going on holidays. We love going, like, we like traveling, although obviously haven't been able to.
and just not to
do
take
that.
the
Yeah.
kisses and that for granted. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Don't take them kisses for granted.
Don't take my kisses
Yeah,
for
that's
granted.
Yeah.
Sounds like a country song.
It does, doesn't it? I like it.
Yeah,
It does, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Ugh, I'm making myself sick.
I'm writing it down. I've
Thanks.
written it down. It's going to be on my next record. You can have co-write you
There
two.
you go.
Look, we've both watched episode 1 of Preppers. It's fantastic.
Oh,
Oh, great,
thank
thank
you.
Have you both created the show together? Is it like a 50-50 split? Or Nakkiah, was this your idea, or how does that work with the show? Have you worked it out?
Oh, so definitely 50-50. I think we came up with the idea at like a swim-up pool bar on the Gold Coast. And with
Great.
pina coladas.
No.
We were
Water
like,
again.
just
See,
talking-
water.
Yeah, water and
Yeah.
drinks. That's what
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
we weren't
something in
looking
that.
for
I'll
something.
have some noodles with that, please.
Hey, I'm not eating no noodles in a pool bar. That's weird. You
That's
know.
just wrong.
Yeah.
That was the holiday that kid did a big
Oh, yeah.
poo in the pool.
Oh, there's a noodle.
Oh,
That's a noodle we don't want.
that's
Code brown? No, thank
definitely
you.
no.
Totally.
Oh, that's
It was
the
one of the most
worst.
dramatic.
It was amazing. Anyway.
Anyway,
I mean, we weren't looking for something. We weren't looking for something specific to work on
Yeah.
together. It's not like we're like, oh, we need to write a show together. I guess we just sort of both thought the like
Yeah.
doomsday prepping, the end of the world, fear, community was an interesting subculture to sort of set something against, and kind of wondered why no one had made a kind of comedy series with that as a backdrop to that. And then we sort of just jammed on it for a while and developed it and started writing it. And
I'd gotten really, just prior to that, like really obsessed with those shows like Doomsday Preppers and Doomsday
Yeah.
Bunkers, you know, that
Yeah.
whole genre of shows about the end of the world on like National Geographic usually. So yeah, was starting to prep a little bit myself. Like just order weird stuff on Amazon where I'd be like, it'd be stupid not to get this solar power
What?
radio that charges your iPhone in case of an emergency.
Like multiple cans of
so,
baked
yeah.
beans and things like that as well. Tuna cans and...
Yeah.
yeah.
Spirulina. Apparently
Yeah.
you can live off spirulina.
You guys, we do a segment called the 2-minute shower where we keep our answers brief, or we ask you guys to keep your answers brief. Please answer the question. Both of you have to answer the question. Okay?
Okay.
Number 1, what's your best quality?
I think I'm pretty, I think I'm pretty, for better or for worse, brave.
That's
You
good.
know, I'm willing to engage with things and do stuff that's scary. I feel scared most of the time doing what I do as a person and as a creative, and so I'm good at I think diving all in, like diving in the deep end and not being afraid to make an idiot of myself, which I do all the time.
I don't know. That's really difficult.
There's so many.
No, that's a lie. Okay, well, give me one. Just whisper it. Okay, funny.
I'm really curious about the world.
Curious. Okay, we'll go with that. Even though I don't
Yes.
like
That's a good
living in
one.
the house, I'm still curious about stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. What do people get wrong about you?
I think people might think that I'm like a bit angry, or I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like you know, and I do, like, I'm not afraid to be angry, but I'm not like
Yeah.
an angry person. You know, I think you know, especially the stuff I try and engage with, it is stuff
Yeah.
that people will feel passionate about, but you don't ever want to. You want to feel like you are having a conversation with someone, and that is going to get passionate, and you know, emotions aren't a bad thing to have. You know, I think, I don't know about you, but sometimes feel like we're told to always be cool and chill and calm, and that's the only way to kind of be, especially when engaging with things that really matter to us. And you know,
Yeah.
I think, you know, people kind of maybe I can be angry, but I'm not an angry person.
How about you, Gabe?
I'd say people would think I'm terrible at like caring about like my appearance or what other people think about me, but actually I have excellent taste.
Yeah, he does. It's
Good, I like
good
that.
taste.
You know, yeah. Like I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, noodles in the shower. We figured that out.
Yeah, you know. Well, I mean, I don't care if people know that. That's fine.
Yeah.
What does your perfect day look like?
Mine is like so boring, but you know, waking up, having a good cup of coffee, listening to a podcast, having a chat with you. When we wake up in good moods after, you know, when you've had like a really good night's sleep, like waking up from a really good night's sleep, having a good cup of coffee, talking with you, then just watching TV shows and movies all day. The lounge.
You don't want to go out at all? You don't want to leave the house?
No, I just want to stay
No, that's fair
home and like
enough.
watch like The Sopranos or something and eat popcorn.
What about you, Gabe? What's your perfect day look like?
I mean, I feel like you stole my answer. Like, I'll just throw in some video games or something. I don't know. Like, I like relaxing at home. I'm a homebody. I love going to the movies. I don't particularly care for the sunlight or anything, so it's not like that.
You're an editor, mate.
Like,
You've chosen the right
yeah,
career.
that's right.
Yeah.
Look at this. You know, it's not like, 18 holes or something like that. Nah. Yeah, I just, you know, any day where I don't have anything to worry about, like, that's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a
I'm
good
just
day.
chill. Like, yeah.
Is there one moment in your life that you'd like to revisit?
I've got two.
I do.
Yeah, like our wedding night, because I barely got to like, you know, when you get married, like it's
Yep.
the old cliche, but didn't get to enjoy it. Like paid for a very nice party for everybody else.
Yeah.
It's true. You're always, like, I don't know, you're on the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, I would have loved to have been a guest at our wedding.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it
You know
would
what
have
I
been
mean?
the bomb.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, probably my last day I had with my nan.
Yeah.
It was a really nice day. The day before she died, I was the last person with her, and I would like give anything just to be able to hold her hand again and give her a kiss.
Well, that's very nice.
And if I could take you back with me,
There you go.
like time travel.
Welcome back. I don't know. I never really think about the past like that personally. I don't ever really dwell on that. I'm quite forward looking, so I don't really have an answer off the top of my head, I'm afraid. Like, yeah, I mean, to do again as if something was wrong, I don't have any regrets or anything like that. I mean, just to do again, to have a nice time for a second time. Sure, there's tons of stuff. Like, I love my life.
Do
You
you
know?
have like a favourite memory?
I'd do it all again. I never want to die. I want to live forever. You know?
No,
Every day of my life, I'm going to revisit.
no secret
Yeah.
tattoos
Yeah,
or
that's right.
anything like that.
No.
No, I'm pretty milk toast.
Yeah, that's
right. Well, it's like-
Funny you saying that. Hey, okay, movies or bingeable TV shows?
Movies.
Well, like you got to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
movies.
Movies.
Movies. Okay.
Yeah.
What Australia needs now is
I reckon what Australia needs now is a little bit of compassion for each other. Hey, like I think I was going to say a little bit about being too. Like it was getting really political, but you think like coming out of COVID, like we're not coming out of it, right? We're going to have to learn how to live with it, and things are really tough, and everybody's at very different places, and people are making different decisions to each other. Like I've been very much on like the there's like doing work in my community to try and make sure people are getting backs and stuff, but you got to kind of like, people are going to make decisions different to you, and that doesn't mean that they're like a bad person.
Yeah.
It'd be good to try and have a little bit of compassion, understanding.
Yeah, more empathy. Never goes astray. you know?
Yeah. Empathy. Yeah, that's it. Empathy.
All right, who do you admire?
Wow.
Like so many people. I really, my parents are community workers and my mum was a nurse. So I really admire people who kind of work on the front lines and on like grassroots and create communities and create, support families. Sometimes being a writer and an actor, you kind of, like, it's like you don't want to, I think there's like really great importance for art, but there's people out there who like are making decisions and building, like creating our community, making it better from like the ground up. So I admire anyone that kind of works in those roles, because I don't think they're really recognised enough.
That's a really good answer, because I was just going to say something stupid like the director of 1978 Dawn of the Dead, George A. Romero.
You can have both.
That's okay.
Yeah.
There's no wrong answer here.
No wrong answer. That's right.
Great. That's right.
Your partner in one word.
Force of nature.
That's not one word.
Yeah, but I said it quickly.
It's hashtag.
That makes my one look really bad.
Oh, why? What's that?
I was either going to go with like passionate or assured.
Okay.
And like really, really
What about sensible?
You are really sensible. He's really
Interesting.
sensible. No, like you are like
I'm
in a
sensible.
great way. Like you always like you are very like knowing in your approach about things, and like it makes you very easy to trust, and
Yeah.
you like really believe in yourself. I love those qualities.
You criticised me for 3 words that I said quickly.
I
You
know,
rambled
I told
there.
you I'm a chatterbox.
Yeah, there you go. Chatterbox.
Oh, fantastic, you guys.
Chatterbox.
You guys, thanks so much for being here with us. It's been enlightening.
Thank you.
Yeah, really fun. And good luck. I hope you get a second season of Preppers. We can't
Yeah.
wait to see the first season in its entirety. But what a wonderful effort. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
It's
much.
lovely to
Yeah.
meet you, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, pleasure.
See you. Bye.
I love those two.
Yeah.
How fun.
I can't wait to watch the rest of Preppers. Honestly, you listener, you have to watch it. The first episode was so trippy. It's really good.
It's on the ABC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put a link to it, and where you can find all the information in the show notes, so you can make sure you grab it.
Amazing couple. Hey, we'll be back next week with another episode. I'm at Cameron Daddo on Instagram. Ali's at...
Beattie-Daddo.
There you go.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah, if you have any questions, queries, comments, anything you want us to discuss, let us know. And remember, while you're cruising the streets, you've listened to Separate Bathrooms. There's a whole bunch of other podcasts on the Nova podcast platform to listen to as well. So
Absolutely.
we got you covered.
Just wanted to say too, so grateful to all the listeners who keep on coming back and spending more time in the bathroom with us. We are truly grateful for you. So thanks so much for listening.
Thank you, listener. Thank you.